Welcome to the Second Act Investor. Hi, my name is David. If you found this channel, chances are life has landed a few punches right in the wallet. Divorce, bankruptcy, job loss, a market crash, maybe even a perfect storm of all of them. I know that place. Because in 2008, I was standing exactly where you are now, confused, embarrassed, and running on a treadmill, starting over at 45 and broke. I was going through a brutal divorce. Half my assets were gone. Thousands a month in support payments were on the horizon. And even with a solid career as a technology manager in the financial services industry, I was quietly slipping into the ranks of the working poor. Six-figure income on paper, but every dollar already spoken for. No cushion, no margin, no plan. Act 1 wasn't just a setback, it was a storm. The kind that hits fast, hits hard, and leaves you staring at the wreckage. Bank accounts drained, assets divided, income slashed, confidence shattered. It felt like everything I'd built was slipping through my fingers. But that's where the story begins, not where it ends. Because when the dust settled, I realized, if I wanted a future, any future, I had to rebuild from scratch. I had to become a second act investor. This channel exists because I made it out of the hole and started climbing the mountain. And now I'm here to help you make your comeback too. Are you ready to start your second act? My Act 2 began in 2010, not with a celebration, but with silence. The kind of silence that fills an empty house after a marriage ends. I had $80,000 in my employer 401k, and then, just like that, poof, half of it was gone. I checked my bank account, $112. That was it. No cushion, no backup. Just 2 digits and a prayer. I was paid on the 1st and the 15th, and I had to ration food just to make it from one paycheck to the next. Not because I was lazy, not because I was reckless, but because life had landed a punch right in the wallet. According to the Federal Reserve, the median retirement balance for households aged 45 to 54 in 2010 was about $63,000. Before the divorce, I was above that line. After, I was buried beneath it, and the hits kept coming. While I was at work, my ex took all the furnitures. I came home to an echo. I slept on the floor for 2 years, not to be stoic, but because I refused to take on more debt when I could barely breathe under the weight of what I already owed. I kept driving my old SUV because it was paid off. I told myself I'd drive it until the wheels fell off, and some days they nearly did. I remember staring at my accounts thinking, how am I supposed to live, let alone retire, on this? Fast forward to today, February 2026, my portfolio is over $1 million. No lottery, no inheritance, no Bitcoin miracle, just grit, discipline, and a decision to rebuild. Slowly, methodically, imperfectly. That's what this channel is about. Disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here is financial advice. This channel exists to share my personal journey, the mistakes, the lessons, the systems, in hopes that you'll build your own plan to rebuild. Investing always involves risk, and past performance never guarantees future results. You can reach out to a certified financial advisor to help you create a customized plan based on your unique needs. Now back to my story. On this channel, I'll show you real numbers from my personal accounts. The actual history, the actual progression. Let's get started. Your second act begins now. Want to know how to get started? I bet you didn't know most people don't need a perfect financial plan. They need a starting point, and a handful of simple rules they can actually follow. What they really need is someone who's been in the hole and clawed their way out. Not someone who started life on third base and thinks they hit a triple. On the Second Act Investor channel, I'm sharing the few rules that kept me consistent. And consistency was everything. It meant rebuilding one step at a time, even when progress felt painfully slow. That's how I climbed the mountain. So if you're restarting your financial life in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or even your 60s, hear me clearly. You are not behind, you're just entering your second act, and second acts can be the strongest part of the story. Get a pen and a piece of paper and write this down. Step 1. Write down every source of income, every single one. When I started, I didn't guess. I didn't round up. I didn't assume. I wrote down every dime that came into my household. Think of it this way. If you make $50,000 a year, that's $500,000 over 10 years, $500,000. It is irresponsible, not to shame you, but to wake you up, to not know where that money is going. So write it down, all of it. This is the moment you take your power back. Step 2. Write down every expense, no exceptions. Rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, entertainment, subscriptions, credit cards, medical bills, everything. Total your monthly income, total your monthly expenses, subtract expenses from income. That number, the gap, is your truth. Not good or bad, just a starting point. And you cannot fix what you refuse to measure. Once everything is documented, it's time to attack the real enemy, high interest debt. If you've got a credit card with a 20% APR or higher, that is a wealth killer. That is a chain around your ankle. So create a plan to wipe those out first. Here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me. Every bill you pay off is the same as giving yourself a raise, but you must, at minimum, pay more than the minimum payment. Minimums keep you trapped. Extra payments set you free. Your number one goal is to pay down debt so you can free up capital. And if you need a temporary side hustle, Uber, DoorDash, delivering groceries, do it. Do anything legal to generate extra income. From 2010 to 2011, I drove for Uber. No shame. Just an extra $500 a week to crush my debt faster. This is how you start climbing out of the hole. Not with perfection, not with complicated spreadsheets. With honesty, clarity, and a plan you can actually stick to. You don't need to be a financial expert. You just need to take the first step. And I'll walk with you through the rest. Before we continue, if you value this content, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. It lets the algorithm know you value this content, and it will help other people become a second act investor. I appreciate the support. Once you know your gap, focus on step 1, money tracking and debt reduction. Remember, you have to be consistent. Consistency wins. Don't increase your lifestyle with your side hustle money. Pay down your debt. Work to get out of the hole so you can start your climb on the financial freedom mountain. All right, now that you understand the basics of what money is coming in and where your money is being deployed, here's where things really start to get exciting. Because today can be the start of a new day in your financial life. On this channel, I'm going to teach you everything I learned along the way, the good and the bad. I'll also show you moments of extreme frustration and fear, all moments that shaped my second act. We're going to walk through how to rebuild after a financial setback, the exact order to restart your financial life with confidence, how to invest even if you feel like you're starting late, the traps that cost me thousands so you can sidestep them with ease, how to build a simple, resilient portfolio that actually fits your life, how to use AI to build, test, and strengthen your financial plan. Key financial terms like compound annual growth rate, Monte Carlo simulations, sequence of return risk, the pro rata rule, expense ratio, compound interest, diversification, asset allocation, dollar cost averaging, dividend reinvestment plan, total return, risk tolerance, market capitalization, exchange traded fund, stock, index fund, mutual fund, and much more, all explained in plain English. And how to create a plan that keeps working even when life throws another curveball. No shame, no jargon, no acronyms, no guilt trips about what you should have done at 22. Always remember, education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Just real talk from someone who had to start over and found a way forward. And if I can do it, you can absolutely build your second act too. I'm not special. I didn't time the market. I didn't discover the next Amazon. What I did have was a system simple enough to follow when life was messy, and strong enough to keep working even when I was rebuilding from zero. A system that held together when I was scared, overwhelmed, and convinced I'd already blown my chance. And trust me, I made plenty of mistakes along the way. I rebuilt using low-cost index funds and ETFs. Over time, I structured my portfolio to capture growth, collect and reinvest dividend income, diversify across international assets and currencies, benefit from thematic trends like AI and robotics, and aerospace and defense. I captured gains from short-term fixed income, alternative assets like precious metals, commodities, and crypto. I put a rules-based sleeve system in place to manage volatility and drawdowns so I could stay invested through the storms and benefit from compounding instead of bailing when it hurt. Know this, I am not here to sell you a system. I'm here to walk you through the one that helped me recover, step by step, so you can build the version that fits your life. Think of 2ndActInvestor as a living playbook from a real person with real financial setbacks who found a way through. And I want you to know this. If I could rebuild my second act, you can build yours too. Because the truth is, your story isn't defined by the setback. It's defined by what you decide to do next. Every small step you take from here counts. Every choice to learn, to invest, to stay consistent, becomes part of a future you're building with intention. Your second act isn't just possible. It's waiting for you to claim it. Let's get started with your second act. I'm going to summarize how you can start your comeback journey in 8 steps, so grab a pen and paper so you can write them down. 1. Write down all monthly income sources. Use a notebook, a spreadsheet, or an app on your phone. Just be sure to document all income. 2. Document all spending for 30 days. By expense, I mean how you allocate your money. And I do mean document everything. Write down every bill, dining out, buying lunch, a night out with friends, going to the movies, date night, Uber rides, subscription services, everything. You need to see where and how your money is being allocated. 3. At the end of the month, subtract your total monthly expenses from your income. This will enable you to see your gap. If you have no money remaining, you have work to do. If you have some money available, we have a starting point. 4. Determine if an opportunity exists to cut an expense. Do you really need 6 streaming subscriptions? Look at it this way. Time spent watching TV is time taken away from growing your skill set and enabling future income growth. Don't worry, we'll talk about gaining new skills in another video. 5. Determine if you need to bring in more income to cover expenses. If you have more month than money, the answer is yes. 6. If required, consider a side hustle to generate more income. Don't worry, you won't have to work your side hustle forever, but in the short term, generating more income can help expedite paying off debt. Remember, your goal is financial freedom, and no matter what, don't upgrade your lifestyle when you generate more income. 7. If you have high-interest credit card debt, pay more than the monthly minimum. It's imperative that we stop high-interest debt from stealing income from future you. 8. Start building an emergency fund and a high-yield savings account. Eventually, the car will require service, something will break, or you'll receive an unexpected bill. An emergency fund is required so you don't have to go into debt with your credit card. Visit Bankrate.com and NerdWallet.com to view high-yield savings account options. Save $1,000 as fast as possible, then, over time, save at least 3 months of living expenses. We'll discuss short-term financial assets in a future video as a way to hedge against inflation. These 8 steps is how you get started. If you're ready to believe, truly believe, that wealth is still possible for you, if you're ready to take control of your money instead of letting your past call the shots, go ahead and hit subscribe, because this channel was built for you. Subscribing doesn't just support the channel, it helps push this message into the world. It reaches people who are rebuilding, people standing exactly where I once stood, wondering if they can recover. People who need to know they're not behind, not broken, and absolutely not done. People who need to hear that a comeback is still on the table. And let me be clear, your second act isn't about perfection. It's about direction. It's about refusing to stay in the place where life knocked you down. On the 2ndActInvestor, you'll find simple, steady steps to financial freedom, not complicated activity to overwhelm you. I'll help you establish habits that rebuild confidence, one choice at a time, and a mindset that turns small progress into unstoppable momentum. If you're ready, watch the next video. The system that saved me, rules-based investing explained. We're climbing this mountain together, one clear, intentional step at a time. Your comeback starts now.